Finally, 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 I got it right. Moved the studio here into the bedroom because I'm making an attempt at karaoke, and they're rather annoying and loud, and I'm the only one without any alcohol. So, but I'll have my turn tomorrow. I can promise you that. All freaking day. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
That's me, man. How are you?
Ah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
It's like having nicotine withdrawals today, but I could not get a simple request done today. So
No.
now that I come in here, now they turn it down there. I don't know. I must be feeling good about something. I don't know what though.
Yeah. You're living the life, man. Just remember that.
But,
You're one of the few, the proud. I mean, something.
oh yeah, gotta be something, right?
Yeah. You got to be
Karma,
something.
man. That's my favorite word.
Oh, man.
A little early for you there, David, huh?
Yeah, I'm usually up by about 6:30.
Well, I had me old case of that Japanese beer. What is that? Ashasi? How do you
Yeah.
say that? Is that right? Is that how you say it?
Asahi.
Asahi. And the vendor, he didn't get it shipped because they didn't have it. So they canceled. Shopee canceled that order on me. So I had a couple other singles I was trying. 4.3 one is Singa, whatever. Tising,
Yeah.
and that was a mile, and a wheat beer. Kronenberg. I thought that was Dutch, but I guess it's French. So I had 3 cans coming of three new ones. I was going to try out. Oh, plus my Carlsberg. But, Carlsberg is okay. Like after that first can, halfway to that first can, I'm like, man, this stuff bitter. But after that, it was good. But I prefer the wheat. I had to stay away from the whole garden because that kind of did me in last week. So I, I drank. I think I had what I have. I bought 12 of there. I drank eight of them. Eight 500 milliliter cans.
Well, you got to remember, you're not a young man anymore.
No, that reminded me of that.
So,
Sure the heck did, man. I really didn't feel any decent about getting up till about 1 in the afternoon.
yeah.
So I gave the other ones to the moch. I mean, to the brother-in-law. So he,
Been too
I
hot
gotta.
here, Tony.
Oh, you know what? I gotta find. It's
90s.
some of those were close to the expiration date, so I had to refrigerate them right away. 90 what?
92 today. I think it was about that yesterday. I'm ready for football weather.
Already? Already?
Beautiful. We had a nice Australian southern northern chill wind the other day. Very, very, very nice. Yeah, I'd have rather been out. Now that I'm in here, they're quiet down there. Shit, I ain't moving this no more. They're liable to bust out at any moment, right? A couple of 92-degree weather days, and you're ready to turn into the Scrooge, huh? Feels like that every day here.
Yeah, that's more like Butuan weather.
Well, I like the 88, but feels like 107 kind of thing. Like 100% humidity, you know. I don't know. Can you go over 100% humidity? Is that possible?
No.
No. Sure the hell. Sure felt like it. Plus, you're in a wooden structure. Wooden structure.
My wife backs out of the driveway really fast. Must be
Your
doing-
wife what?
When my wife backs out of the driveway really fast. She must have done 80 miles an hour getting out of the driveway.
She in a hurry? Nicotine? Maybe she's late for that rendezvous.
No, it's not right. She just, I don't know. She doesn't look for cross traffic until she's in the road. But her
Yeah,
car is
well, that-
you know.
That's so she can see how bad it's gonna feel. Something.
Like
I mean, if you're gonna feel it, you might as well see it. Right?
That's why I bought her a car that has all
Yeah.
those freaking sensors. So
Right, testing to see how safe the Subaru really is.
that's it.
That'll what has she got?
She drives a. I bought her
How do
the
you-
Subaru.
Bought her to what?
It's a Subaru.
Oh,
Subaru Outback.
Forester.
Outback.
Oh, but they still got that box engine, man.
Yeah, the boxer engine. Yeah,
Jesus, they won't let go of that.
it's a good car. I hate to admit it.
Hey, when I was in the service, this guy, the band facilities next to ours, and this guy he bought this Volvo that had, and back then, man, if a car had 100,000, it was dead, you know, it was poison. But he bought a Volvo. No, it's a Volvo. It was a Volvo. Bought that wagon for $1,500, and it had over 150,000 miles. Those things were just,
Oh, forever.
yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah.
look at this shit. I don't even know what they're trying to sound like there. Man.
Yeah, well, we actually like the Subaru.
Oh, look who graced us with her presence.
Hi.
Hey, you got a new car or what?
No, the same one.
The same one. I didn't even know what the other one looked like.
Oh,
It looked like a car.
I can barely hear you right now. I'm in the car.
Right. Same here because there's loud music going on downstairs,
Okay.
There's a drinking party in
and I have no alcohol tonight, so
So sorry.
I'm gonna make up for it tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Hi, Craig. Hi, Avocado.
Hi.
Jesus Christ.
Are they dying at your
Oh,
house?
it's karaoke Friday
Yeah.
night, huh?
Well, you know what? People never stay within their range. Everybody wants to be Whitney Houston to bust that high note, you know.
I don't think they have a range.
But I was singing Badfinger the other day, and my youngest sister-in-law said it sounded good. So,
Oh wow.
You drunk? If you're drunk?
because I knew the lyrics to it. So, hey, Craig, I'm always in pain here. You hurt your back a week back. How's your back?
Did you do it while you were cheering for your football team, Craig?
Yeah, he probably was gyrating out of control. Hey, he ain't gonna tell us about that pole they got in the bedroom there. Jamie, Craig said hi. What are you doing? You still out there in Washington?
Yeah. I'm outside my work right now. Like my boss just
Work?
rolled up, so I have like 5 minutes.
You work? Where do you work? Oh,
Oh, I work in production at the back of a warehouse.
your juice money didn't run out, did it?
Yeah, it already did.
Oh,
I'm
hey.
not renting right now. I can't go in my situation, but I'm in a shelter. That's all I can say.
Again.
That's all right. You don't have to.
Get
Don't
up
divulge.
here by Ronald.
I can't right now. I'm in a.
Hey,
I can't say it.
Yeah,
We'll have
it'll
to go
be good
private
out.
sometime.
yeah, well, we understand.
We do. We get it.
Yeah.
So
Basically, I got a protection order against somebody. So, because it's something I went through. So he can't talk to me. He can't go near me.
The old guy? The other one?
The guy that I was with the last few months. Yeah, I left the place and I left all my stuff except for my clothes. But I went to a judge and they gave me a protection order for a year.
good.
You were, you know, we could have avoided this here if you'd have just kept us on here.
I wasn't allowed on YouTube. I wasn't allowed on Facebook. I had to get
Because
rid of my old.
we wouldn't have allowed that.
I know. I'm so sorry. I
You know,
didn't have any control, and that was part of the issue.
We-
He was a control freak.
we have your best interest at heart because this, you know us more than you that guys.
Yeah, I know. I ran into a situation with Travis, and I had to leave Missouri, and I didn't know what else to do.
You have quite the effect on people.
You just keep doing what's best for you and don't stress over it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's awfully nice of you to stop by. Finally, it's been about 6, 7, 8 months.
It's been many, many months, and it sucks because I wish I could stay longer, but my boss is like literally is walking in the store.
Staring at you, going, you know, time to go to work.
I start work at 6:30. I normally get off at 3:30, but last night I worked till 7 p.m. But Wednesdays when I get off at 3:30, I go to a place and I go do karaoke. So it's funny you're mentioning it because I stayed until like 10 on Wednesday going to go do karaoke.
You well, we haven't had to hear you though, so we don't know who you sound like. So.
Me?
Yeah, we don't know. You karaoke. Give us a little bit of. You got about 5 minutes before you got to be in there.
Okay. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruins of many a wars. And God, I know I'm one.
I take it back. We did hear you before.
Right.
Yeah, well,
See,
yeah.
Tony just doesn't remember stuff. You know?
He's getting old.
Yeah. Yeah. My mind's kind of sidetracked here today.
Aw.
I think Jamie stopped by our live stream the other day while Lorelai was out making me fine Asian food.
Yeah.
Who did?
Jamie did. See, she likes you better than you.
You stopped by him first?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't live with them. He was driving. I was in the chat.
God.
We were looking for Asian food last week.
You
I got an Asian
you
wife.
hit the leave studio button. That's what you do.
I have to go, you guys. I love you. I'm so happy to see you guys again.
Okay,
Have a good
take
day.
care of yourself.
Thank you. Bye.
That was nice. Telling you, man, we could have helped her out, boy.
Well, but some people need
If there's one thing that's worse to do is somebody that's got more issues than you do, then it's hard. It's hard to work on your own.
Yep.
Now listen, honestly, I don't know what people look like. I don't know what the dude looks like, but I'm just saying. But it sounds like a Pete Rose moment to me. The Louisville Slugger.
Yeah. Well, but all we can do is encourage, you know, and individuals have to do what they do, and you know what I mean? So all you can do is encourage.
But you know how it is, Tony. Nobody's good enough for your daughter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I looked. My oldest two were already out, different state, but the one I had in Wisconsin, I was. She's about 2 years older than her husband and I, and my son showed me her picture. Now I ain't nobody, I'm no prize myself, and I'm looking, and I say to my son, I say, she does realize she can get better. She can get a better one than that.
Do better than you.
No, better than the guy. But her mother felt the same way. But when I met him, after listen, all this this lady's cut my hair told me the story about how her ex-husband met her father, and he called her by his first name, and her father was really upset about that. And I thought to myself, why would he be upset about that? That's no big deal. Well, what happened to me is I go up there and he comes around the sofa and he says, "Hi, Tony." And I thought, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, see? When your shoe's on the other foot, it's different, huh?
Yeah, man. Well, I wasn't expecting to feel that way. And then my
Right.
daughter said, he goes, to be on his, he said, I didn't know what to say and he never told me. She said, well, you don't call a person by their first name or dad on the first. He didn't know, so. But he's a good
Easiest
guy.
thing to do is say sir, right?
Yeah, I don't know. At least I don't. But all I can tell you is what I wasn't prepared to hear it, and I didn't think it would have bothered me, but it did. So for those you guys out there with daughter and first time meet, Craig's got boys, I think. So you got some girls there too.
Well, my one she's involved with, he's a computer geek. Really,
The ones at Pennsylvania there.
No. It's the one in Seattle.
Hey, those guys can be dangerous too.
Oh, he didn't say a word to me. He held out his limp hand for me to shake. And
I had
oh my
this
goodness.
one of the kids that played ball for me is the mom died, and so the daughter she used to come up there. She liked hanging out. She liked me for some reason, and she had a boyfriend. So I'm standing at the ball field because her brother was playing the kid I coach, and she comes walking over there. She wanted to give me a hug, but I thought I better not, the dad thing. So I said, "Hey, Bill, I'm gonna say something to this guy when he comes over." And he goes, "Yeah, go ahead." So he comes over. I said, I shake his hand and go, "How's your behavior?" And she goes, "Dad." She was embarrassed by it. Then the kid goes, "Oh, that's good, sir." I said, "Yeah, don't worry about that. She ain't my daughter anyway." And he was, but the kid was cool. He was like, he wanted to do the right thing, So, but I just messed with her a little bit like that.
That's interesting. I don't know. I guess in my world, I don't know. I guess I grew up differently. I've always shown. I don't know how to explain it. When I was younger and I would meet older men who are fathers or uncles or whoever of girls, one thing I don't know. I guess I learned early on is I treated them as my equal, not as my superior, and that always worked out very well for me.
Well, you had a computer. See, I really had to teach myself a lot of different things
No, we were
because I
taught
had
to
the wrong.
respect our elders.
Yeah, well, that
If they're
part
old
I
enough
had.
to be your father, then you better
That
treat them like that.
that when I was at work in the army, I called one guy. Mr. Bates. I called him Mr. Wilcox. Him. Another guy whose name was Glenn. I called him Glenn. And Morton. I forget what his first name was. It was Morton something. And the other guy was Tom. His last name was Toms. I called him Mr. Toms. And Morton got all mad one time. He goes, "How come you call him Mister and you call me by my first name?" I said, "Well, I called Jack, just like I telling you guys." I called him that because I didn't respect him a lot. He came in. He came in late one time, and I had to get all this stuff ready myself, man. And I did it, too much to a lot of people's surprise. But I'm like, oh, well, I can't close the door. People are coming in.
What happened to me in my world when I was a younger man, I found that I intimidated older men. So
Yeah.
what I learned to do for myself was I treated them as my equal, and then as we went on, I would let them shine because for some reason I intimidate a lot of people. So I figured that out when I was 20 years old, that I was scared and then intimidating people. So I had to kind of do it differently.
Well, problem was having a dad like I did. He was a smart ass, liked to laugh. I was just like that, and didn't think I'd be like that. I wasn't the part of him that went whacking somebody for everything and anything, you know. And I think half it was he was pissed because he had two kids, and me and my older sister were available, you know. So that part I didn't do, but the other part, I didn't think that any of that uh, that I was doing was any different than anybody else, you know. And and it was, you know, but I didn't know that. And
Tony, I
when
don't know about you, but we were always around. Our older guys, like our dads, they hung around. They just used to bust each other's balls. You know, they're friends,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and that's the way you related. And you did that. If you did that to someone new, and then they kind of had this little take offense to, you're like, look, you know, if you can't,
yeah,
you know what they say, if you can't take a joke, right?
Right.
yeah,
Like, look, it's kind of an endearment, you know.
Mhm.
If you're in the group or you can get your balls busted by someone, then
Right.
that means you're okay. You're kind of like a
yeah.
made man, you know.
And a lot of these guys, we'd say, I lived above a par for a while, and we just say, instead of saying hello, we just say each other's name, you know. But after my dad died, and I was real good at baseball coaching, you know, but take a team that's 4-13 and be 19-1, and I was sitting there one day. It was a couple of months after that, and I thought, you know, all these people used to get mad at me because I talked about my success over and over and over. I didn't realize I did that so much, uh, but I did that because I think the two times he came to something, he had a look of disgust on him because I didn't win, because I was so far out ahead of the track, and my body tightened up. Never mind why is that happening? Just throw your arms up and say, "What the hell happened?" I thought, "F this guy, man." I that crushed me when I heard him say. I heard him say too that why should I do anything with him? He'll just quit. And I thought, and then you know he tried to make up after that.
It's his own
And
issue. My dad had a lot of crappy issues.
I would say I would just say no, Dad, I don't want it. You know, because I didn't want to hear him bitching at me
Yeah.
if I didn't do something right. You know, so yeah, I kind of fixed him once because he had a little rust on this one car around the wheel. It was a '72 LeSabre. So I'm out there, you know, freaking Mister Body Man, and it was from the inside out. But back then I didn't care. I could patch that. So I go in the house. I go, Dad, you know, can I primer up those rust spots? He goes, oh. He said, sure. He comes out. I got half that car primed in the back of it. Man. He said, what the hell are you doing? I said, well, you told me I could do it, but I primed it with the dirt on it and everything. And I had that car at McDonald's once, and this older guy, I was like 16, I think. And this older guy goes, "Hey man, nice body work." I thought, man, it was. Oh. Yeah, he couldn't say anything because he told me I could. I just didn't tell him how much of it I was going to do.
Or that you
But
weren't
look
going to
at
do
the
it right.
bright side. Look at the bright side. You invented bedliner.
There you go.
Well, that car about died anyways. Teal, shut that door.
Used to be none of those cars. You couldn't get 40, 50,000 miles. They'd be rusted out by the time you got to that
Oh,
point.
well,
Within
in
like
more,
3 years, you know, they'd be rusted.
well, but that's a Ford for sure. But his 72, he had a 72 and a 73. The 72 was Well, it was what, 5 years old, and you know, it was from a secondhand dealer. Some guy at work hooked him up. Then he had a Burgundy '73. Let me tell you that impact bumper in the front is like a 5 mile an hour bumper or two. I hit it. I hit a wall with it, and it sure did work. You wouldn't have known it. You know, a little busted out directional below it. But I used to. It was burgundy in color. I used to shine that sucker, man. And then when I
Yeah,
went roller
my
skate,
my dad was over at this guy's house one time. He's only a couple roads over from where we live, but we were in this garage. My dad was talking to him, and I'm probably 16, you know, and he had this car underneath a cover. You know, he had the car cover on in his garage, and I was like, you know, I was so curious. I said, you know, he said, excuse me, what do you have under that? You know, and he lifted that cover up. It was a '61 Chevy Impala, white
the big
with
wings.
white with I think that light blue interior.
Uh,
It had like 5,000 miles on it. I mean,
oh,
it was mint, you know.
that's with the
And
fins,
I'm
right?
thinking, I said, oh, '61, that's the year I was born. You want to sell that? You know? And he just laughed. He said, I don't think you have enough money
Hey,
for this.
I had an uncle that he just collected cars. He never fixed them up, and he had all these classic Fords. When he died, man, his son, some of them, the bad ones, just went through there and took whatever, you know. But he had a 65, 64, 65 442, and Muncie 4 speed and a 425, and he had it sitting in this lot, and it was sitting there for so long. The headliner mice got in there, and he still wouldn't. I said, Uncle, I'll give you $1,000 for that. And I would have just beat the shit out of it and freaking probably killed myself in it. A 4 speed, you know, being young. Well, that
But
happened
he
to me
wouldn't
once.
sell it to you, huh?
Nah, he wouldn't sell. Then he died. And I don't know what his kids did with him.
Yeah.
You know, he had classic Ford pickups, six that weren't. He didn't. He bought them in mint condition.
Yeah.
And he never sold none of that. I don't know. He had some couple sons. Some of my cousins were. One was in prison and just a loser. A couple of them were losers, you know. So,
I've seen a couple things on like internet, the barn finds in Europe where a rich guy, he has like 40, 50 cars, you know. I mean, beautiful classic cars, but they sat in this warehouse that nobody knew about. And just there's an inch thick dust on all of them, you know,
hey,
and they haven't
hey,
run in decades.
my auntie had a. She bought it from my. I think she bought it from my uncle. She had a 66, I think, Olds Cutlass. What was that before they changed it into
Now
the?
that was my first car, a '66 Cutlass.
It had the wheel wells are kind of round. I think it was a convertible. It was a white top. She got hit by a transit bus back when we were kids, and my uncle bought it from her. And the motor, it just seized. He put it in the garage, and never ran it. But it was a 65. Was it 64, 65 or 66? It was 66. It had they had more lines on them back then. You know, character lines from the front to the back.
Speaking of cars, I just went in. I had an appointment yesterday to take my wife's SUV in, you know, and it had the idiot lights on, you know, ABS light and check engine light. So, and I had already run the code at AutoZone, and I knew it was a ABS sensor, you know, on one of the wheels.
Yeah, could be that.
But I talked to a guy, and he said, "Oh, that's usually always a wheel bearing. You know, it's not the sensor." So I made an appointment. Took it in, and yesterday the guy called me, says it's done. You know, because I wrote on there, just do diagnostics. You know, tell me which corner it is, because I plan on changing the bearing myself. You know, I just wanted to know which corner it was. But he called me and said, your vehicle's done. I said, well, what do you mean, done with diagnostics? He said, no. He said it was still under warranty, so we changed the wheel bearing
Yeah.
out. I'm 1 week from the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain,
Yeah.
because I bought it for my wife on July 31st, 10 years ago.
It wasn't a Kia, was it?
No, it's a Mitsubishi Outlander. So
Hey,
10 years, 100,000. I just made it a week under. I knew I was a week under, but I didn't. When they say powertrain, I didn't think that would be a wheel bearing, especially in a front wheel drive vehicle. This is the rear, and that's not actually in the powertrain, right? But he said,
no.
no, it's covered. I said, okay, I'm not going to argue with you,
Maybe,
It was free.
yeah, maybe it was. He misunderstood that because it's not. They had to stop saying bumper to bumper because they were running into literally problems because it meant literally between
Yeah,
these two
no,
bumpers.
what it's specifically engine and powertrain is what the 10-year 100,000. And I didn't think a wheel bearing, especially on the non-drive end of the vehicle, would be considered powertrain.
Kind of,
but
it's not,
they did it for free, and I didn't argue. I said, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
how much that charge would have been? $800.
Oh, well, just to run the diagnostics would have been $100, $125. I just wanted them to run because I knew what the code was, but they have specific software to tell you which corner of the vehicle that sensor is bad. So I just wanted them to tell me, it's a right rear or left rear, because that's the easiest wheel bearings to change, and I would have done it myself. But
was it an all-wheel drive?
No, it's just front-wheel drive SUV.
Maybe they thought it was an all-wheel.
No, they knew, but they did it. Hey, they get paid anyway. The deal, if it's warranty work, the dealer gets paid by Mitsubishi to do the work. So one way or the other, they're getting paid.
So it's a win-win for them. If they can get it under warranty work, then they guaranteed money. If they tell
plus
the customer
the
that you gotta
particular
pay
hour wage that it takes to do it,
I'll take it home and do it themselves, so they lose money.
Yeah.
So if they can get it done under warranty, they get money. So,
but I mean, I figured I was out 125 just for the diagnostics. I knew that, but I was going to change it myself because they would have charged a couple $100 just for the wheel bearing and then the labor, who knows how much. So, but man, that was a good deal.
Yeah, you could have a hell of a time. I bought a Skyhawk, and the Skyhawk was a Chevy version of Skyhawk. Had a V6 in it. Pretty quick for a little car with a V6. But I'd never done it before. The shocks were seized. They were out of oil. The ball joints and all that. I never did all that before. And I got the tire. I dialed in the tie rod ends. I counted the threads.
Right.
And then taped it off. And I was still, hear the wheels squeal a little. So I got it set up for the front. For the alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was waiting on my cousin. And this dude was like, he never showed up. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna buy my own shit and do this, man." I got another car. I can afford to have this laid up.
That was way before the internet, right? Or YouTube videos now show you what to do.
They had a bad main seal, so they used to blow those.
Yeah, I remember back in the military, we had the auto hobby shops on the bases.
Yeah.
So that was a place I'd take my vehicle, and that was the only time I really started to work on my own vehicle, because I'd go in there. They had all the tools, they had the little jacks, whatever you needed, and they had a guy there that you could ask, and the guy was a mechanic. He knew just about everything. So that was before, YouTube videos showed you how. So you'd ask this guy. And I had like a Chilton's manual, how to do stuff. So I just experimented the old fashioned way,
Hey, we had lifts in ours.
Yeah.
We had a 4-bay garage with lifts, and we were doing this on a Friday night. I was telling you guys about that when we were stoned, before they started drug testing.
Right.
And when I fired up that, that rotor, the cap's got a full circle and a half, and I think that guy saw Jesus, man, because that you should have saw his face when that flame came out of the car.
Called reverse polarity.
Dude, he had that look like he did from Where's My Car? Or Dude, Where's My Car? Like, oh.
Yeah.
I said, I thought you knew how to do this shit. Well, we're Friday night, man. Let's do this tune-up, and then we'll continue our evening.
But all the time growing, like from 16 till my 20s, I never changed the oil in my vehicles. Never knew how. Never took an interest in it.
Well,
Never did
I
the
did.
brakes. I
I
drove
did.
stuff until I mean I would check the oil, right? But and if it was low, I would add, right? But I never changed oil in any of my
I
vehicles.
I learned how to do that from watching people. I learned a valuable lesson too. It didn't turn out bad for me, but whenever you get coat that gasket, rubber gasket with a little new oil, not the old shit, because
Yeah,
it's got
right.
grit. And so, listen, I'm working at this restaurant when I'm 16, Italian restaurant, and one of the brothers liked me, and I said, "Hey, Mario, I know, like on Chevys, their speedometer cable is just like on a bicycle, you know, and it's easy." So I
Yeah.
said, but my boss there, Mario, he had a Ford, and it had a spiral gear in it, but unlike the Chevy, it didn't leak no fluid. So on the Ford, it must have used fluid to turn or whatever. And I come in like a week, 2 weeks later. I said, "Hey, Mario." He said, "Because I said, yeah, I saved a bunch of. I put a tap on mine, so I knew where I was at." And he says, "You know that favor you did for me that cost me $2,000?" Holy shit! I said, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I was on GM at work, but oh my god,
That's when you get to unscrew and put a drill on it and spin the odometer back.
dude." Well, yeah, you can't do nothing now. Now they got that extra number when you turn it over. When you
Yeah.
go to 100,000, now it's in there. I saw this guy black dude on YouTube, because this guy in Houston, the dude looks just like Dennis Hopper, man. I swear to God. Uh, Kilmer. His last name is Kilmer. He does auto videos. He was a mechanic for like 50 years. So this black dude said he's wrong about a certain engines with turbos, because the black dude said he had 620 some thousand miles on his 2017, but he had the oil changed every month. When I was in the army, a dude from Montana had a pickup truck. He did that too, and the guy said the turbo doesn't kick in till a certain RPM. So as long as you don't beat the shit out of it, you know, because people get them turbos, they want to get on that. They're busting all that air in there. Uh, Ford's got here in the Philippines. They got a dual turbocharge on the Ford, some of their trucks. Only time will tell how long they'll last, because that's putting that engine. I think that's a is that 5 liter or less. They beat. I mean, I don't buy any more Fords, man. I every Ford I've ever had, I've taken in, and I knew those guys at the dealerships better than my own family. That's how often I was in there. So, but enough of that shit. So I haven't seen Ronald. Anybody talk to him lately?
Not since last week.
Last week. Yeah, that's right. He did come on toward the end there. Yeah. But I needed a sleep, man. It used to take me one day and I'd be okay. Now it takes me a whole week.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
old.
we stayed on for a little while after you went to sleep, and then we all
It was a
bailed out.
7 hour. It was a 7 hour live stream.
Yeah, you had yourself a silent one.
7 hours and 15 minutes.
You can join the. You can be like Michael McFarland. You know?
Yeah, prop myself up in the chair. I haven't seen Jack. I talked to him a little bit.
I haven't seen him this week.
Well, he's sometimes he's on this. I don't know whose channel, man, but the dudes look like a bunch. The dudes. When you get older, you got that hat on. It says "Who farted?" in your in
Yeah,
your
it's
in your
the guy
t-shirts
that.
once. Your t-shirts one size too big, too small.
Yeah, yeah. There's. Yeah, I think he's one of those grow channels where he's trying to do all those bingo
But
things.
you know, I get kind of accustomed to who I know. And like when Ronald was new, I'm like, oh man, what's this do? Okay, it only took about a week for you know me to warm up to that, and then Jack come along. I go, hey man, I was like, that guy drinks too much, this and that. I'm like, fuck, he's a nice guy, man. He never. So we had a pretty good click, as they would say in high school, right?
There you go.
Freaking rain here, man. My place is looking better and better. The first guy we hired changed his price, so he never got to work for us because he didn't want to come down. Well, fuck it, he's gonna drive a pedicab, get 10 pesos or 20 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
We hired a guy named Loloy. He's busting his ass the first. I think he was here 4 weeks, and all the mortar looked like an underground bunker from World War II. They don't trim up, they don't trim it. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe they, so they had a guy replay. He had one of his friends come in because he was off for a week. I think he had another job, is what he had. But this dude, I was explaining to my mother-in-law, and I've never laid brick, but I know that first course is the most important one. Because if that sucker ain't straight, it ain't it. It's all over.
You're gonna have
So
the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
so yeah, as I'm explaining that, they're at the part of the property where this water is just washing in. The pump can't keep up because there's so much. Go to another part. So I'm watching this guy. He's got it's like a joint like that, man. What the fuck? These, these fuckers like 4 inches of
Just
shit.
add more mortar.
Yeah,
It
that'll
looks like
fix
when
it.
you're a kid, you made a peanut butter sandwich, huh? That's what
Yeah,
their mortar joints look like.
but look good, But the new guy is the same name. Oh man, but this guy cleans his joints. I said, what's going to happen with this wall that he's got all that shit on? I said, it's going to make it hard for you to do it uh,
Rendering, whatever they call it.
well, no, they no, they it's like a skim coat, fine,
Right, that's what I mean. I think they call it rendering
Yeah.
when they put
yeah,
that mortar on top, the skin coat on
yeah,
top of the bare block. Yeah.
and then when they're a little high, they just sand a little bit, but I can't imagine this shit being low enough because unless he knocks off those chips,
Yeah.
he's gonna have freaking this much shit. But this guy, he's been here. He's been here a week and a half. He did more than the other guy did in 4 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't adjust your level by the amount of mortar in between your blocks. I mean, you got to be
Right.
consistent on the mortar, right?
He,
And
he,
I'm sure, do they even have a level? The old bubble level? Do they use
nah,
one?
no, they didn't. The new guy does, but that
I
guy
know they
didn't.
don't have lasers, right? The
No,
new
fuck.
stuff here, they use lasers, right?
This is
But
caveman shit here.
I know, but hopefully they have a regular old level with the bubbles
Well,
in it,
nah,
to
well the
tell
guy
what
now
level.
does. But before, I don't know how they did this, but they used fishing line.
Hmm.
Whether that fishing line,
Right,
whether that
but how
fish,
do you know your fishing line is level? That's the
well,
problem.
because they got an eagle eye, man.
That's
The only
right.
time a line works is when it's going up and down. When you hang it, that
Mm.
gives
You have
you a
a float
true
bubble on it.
right.
Yeah, I know they do. I know they do things more primitive here, but I was thinking, her uncle's still working on her brother's house, so I thought,
So
they
do
know
they
what
have
they're.
some courses down? Do they have some courses of block laid already, or what?
Yeah,
How much?
yeah. Freaking two. The old guy, did yeah 1.5. He had about out of 6 foot high, he had it at about 4, so he had a couple more
Really?
to go.
Under the old guy? Is that
Yeah,
the entire perimeter of your property? You got that much?
almost.
Wow.
That's in 4 weeks, but it's easy to
What'd you
do.
say?
No,
570 square meters?
545.
545. And
Plus,
you've got
plus
that
the,
almost 4 foot high the whole way around.
almost done wrong.
Yeah.
But
So
the part he can't do is they see the dirt guys in the beginning should have had a mixture of sand. Now you got every freaking boulder known to man there, but they had this. They needed something solid because the rain they would get stuck. They got stuck every time they came, at least once.
so
So now they got
how many openings do you have? Like for a gate, you have like a vehicle size gate? Do you have a walk-in
no.
gate?
The lot that extra lot I bought. That's 145. That's the entrance and exit right there. That gate is going to have a walk gate inside. You know what I mean? Inside insert.
Yeah, yeah. They have the big metal for vehicles, and then they have like a little portion that's just like the size of a
Right.
door to
Yeah,
open
you got
that
to step up.
separately.
You got to lift your leg up about a foot, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
But for now, that's what it's going to be. And if I and I thought about it as I'm sitting there, and I thought, what if I want to go to the other side and trim the jungle or do some weed whack, and I have to walk all the way around the block. I have to
What are you
walk.
going to have something on top of your wall like barbed wire or metal grate
Yeah,
or
glass, glass, glass,
broken glass?
broken glass.
And it's how going to be how high? 6 foot?
The fence is supposed to be the wall.
Yeah, the wall. Yeah.
So my the inspector came by, but he goes, "Oh, you did. We did. They started building the wall without his consent, and he's got to now. It's going to take like 2 3 months for him to come around again, and her uncle wants to put in these the pilings, uh, because her uncle wants to put those in before they come with the final load of dirt. Because then the house, the house will be the height of the house will be where it needs to be. After the dirt, so you won't have to dig up extra. I don't know if they call them pontoons or pilings or what. But when I look at that fence, man, I think to myself,
How many square
uh,
feet you got to make for a pad for your house?
oh, gee,
Square
I
meters.
don't even. Well, it's eight. The house inside is 80, and then you got the carport. So part with that 145 opening there, I thought, man, maybe I could get in there. Then I forgot that I got the carport plus the septic tank will be on that, part of the land because there'll be nothing driving over it. Only if anything walked over. So that plus they just throw that hose over the thing and they can suck up all the shit. So that wall going out from where that lot starts to the road will be done last. But it's nice. I mean, I spent enough already, man. I can't even remember how much I spent. Jeez.
So once they get started on the house, they haven't poured the pad for the house yet, right?
No. Because we don't have all the dirt yet.
Yeah. Is that going to be a manual thing, or are they going to use a
Oh,
cement truck?
well, they get a truck in there, and then they don't even they're late. They dump the truck, and that's it. They don't get out and shovel. They,
They
they
dump it
don't
in a
get
big
out.
pile and then they shovel it.
They
They
don't
don't.
get out. They don't shovel shit because the truck gets stuck. They spend too much time trying to get it out.
I mean, they
And-
dump the wet cement.
no. The
Oh,
dirt,
okay. I
man.
thought you meant a cement truck. That's what I'm
Oh, fuck.
asking. Are they going to mix the cement by
Yeah.
hand? Okay.
Yeah,
For
they
the
do that by hand.
entire
They do
house
that.
pad, right?
Yeah, they do that by hand. Like the where the pillars were. The fence has a pillar every I don't even know 6 7 feet,
Right.
and I thought that they were gonna do something with that, but uh, it just boggles your mind sometimes. I got a pump there, so I'm looking at it one day and I go, the old guy was there, the other Luloy, and I said to myself, well, that freaking thing looks a little muddy on the bottom. I told you not to be sucking up mud. You can put two of those blocks down there. You can have that hole right in between both those blocks. You know,
I've seen instances where they dump whatever, what gravel or dirt, not even close to where it needs to be, right? So then they got to do double work, putting that either that or carrying it manually. Why don't dump it right beside? You can actually throw it by hand, with a shovel where you need to be, instead of lugging it another half acre.
Because it gives them more. It gives them more work.
I guess so.
see, I
Get
told
paid by the hour, yeah.
Yeah.
I told the first guy, or the second guy actually, the one that we fired. He left all his equipment in the house over there, and the new guy's wife and his wife are staying here because they're from Abunga, so they're staying there. I told that other guy, I said, why don't you just pour that bag of concrete, into the hole and put some water in there? I said that's how we do fence posts at home. Why
Don't
why
you
you
guys
take
have that experience in your own life, though? With you try to explain to your
why
wife,
does
do it this way. Why? Because it's easier. That doesn't know.
well
You
it
know,
makes more sense
why do you got to
too.
make it so easy? They make you feel
Well,
guilty.
you kind of got to remember in their society, it's still their economy. It's kind of like when one of the first times I went there, I was scolded because I was at a restaurant and I started to clean up our mess to go take it to the trash.
Right.
And I was scolded, no, wait a minute. If you do that, then you're taking away somebody else's job. So
Yeah.
therefore, if you use equipment to get something done, then they don't get to make wage. So that's why they still do things the difficult way.
Yeah. There's no such class as efficiency 101 in
That
any
is
Well,
correct.
school.
you know what? I went over there yesterday went to brother-in-law's house that her uncle's working on with one of her other brothers, and I said, "Hey, uh, you don't put no shut-offs on your water lines?" They both look they look they look kind of puzzled.
For what for?
I said, well, let me explain. You put one from that line to the line from the faucet, and you put a, a liberal amount of not a lot, plumber's putty or tape. You can't put that. You can't cake it with putty, otherwise the shit will just push it out. It won't work. And I looked at him. I said, and he didn't know it. I said, well, what happens if this thing doesn't work anymore? It breaks. How do you stop the water? Nobody had an answer.
Well, they're not worried about that because the house
Yeah.
is all concrete and tile.
They look. They looked at me. They looked at me like
They're like,
one
hey,
of
they're like you. Look at you,
they,
guy. You live on an island. You're worried about
they,
water?
they had they had this look like, oh, I thought I knew everything, but I guess I don't. Because
Oh, my.
the one downstairs here, you got when somebody shuts it off, somebody's torquing on it, sucker. So it's being held. The the lever is being held down by this rubber band, a thick rubber band, and without it, you can hear the air escape. And I thought to myself, who's going to be the one to have this blow up on him? Because I'm starting to brush my teeth in the bathroom now, and there's you know, what do you call it on the wall?
Okay, I got a question for you guys. Right? You're going to bed at night. It's cooler outside, right? It's 60 degrees outside. Your house is still, 70. And you have a fan. Where would you put that fan to cool your house off if you have the window open?
Well, what I would do is make sure that there's another window open, and I would put the fan sucking air into the house out.
Bingo. I tried to explain that to my wife, and it didn't
Instead
go
of
over.
blowing the hot air out, you mean sucking the hot air out?
Right.
No, instead of just placing it on the floor in the middle
Oh,
of the
yeah.
room,
My
it's just recirculating hot air in the house, right?
the house before the one I had this time, it had whoever lived in there prior put in this huge freaking fan with slats on it. They were, when you turned it on, ooh, it was
Like
huge. I only used it once or twice, I forget. But I'm thinking, man, this taking all the freaking air out of here, But you know what I miss?
Well,
You know what I like?
there are exhaust fans, and then there are intake fans.
No,
You know,
this was for getting hot air. It wasn't no for no other. I mean, they didn't cook as a business there or nothing like that. But it could.
preferably, hopefully, you wire your bathroom fan correctly so it exhausts. But
Yeah.
to me, it doesn't matter because I don't have a sense of smell. But
You know what I
I
like.
never used the fan.
And I know you got these houses in Pennsylvania. I loved it. My aunt and uncle had a house well near the railroad tracks. The down south too. The floor, the walls are at the bottom of the floor. That's where the window starts and goes up. It makes such a difference.
Yeah, what we do a lot around here, or at least in this part of the world, is we use what we call
Michael?
attic or whole house fan,
Hey, Michael.
and you put them in the hallways, and then at night, what you do is you open up your window, you turn the attic fan on, and it sucks out the hot air and brings
Right.
in the cool air, and allows you not to have to run your AC. So
Right.
Leave it on. Leave it on. I said.
I actually like those, especially if you're around water.
I'd say where
Cool breeze
we're at, maybe a month and a half out of the
Yeah.
summer, you need the air.
Right,
If that,
right.
July, August.
Yep. So
Unfortunately, I've got a bad what's called an A coil in my air conditioning. My condenser outside's okay, but the A coil is leaking. I had a technician come in. He had one of those little sniffers, It's like a long camera thing, except it's got the sniffer on it. It finds the leak. My A coil's leaking, so.
yeah.
Have you? Your A. That sounds kind of personal there. A coil.
Well, yeah, that's what the air blows over. That's
What
the
the-
cold part that
What,
cools your.
in your
That's the one that has the Freon.
in your house there, does it have plywood floors? Did you have to replace them? Ever?
Who?
You?
Me? No, I never have.
Must have a good one then. I have no aircon.
Hopefully
Michael-
our youngest daughter's got 3 more years of high school. So
You know what?
This place lasts me 3 more years, then maybe we'll move. I don't know.
I like these wheat beers now, and I like these super dry because I tried a San Miguel Pale Pilsen super dry.
Piss water.
It was pretty good.
It's piss water. Drink a man's beer.
No. That just saves me the pain of that bitterness on the way afterwards. I like what I like. But this town, I went in the liquor store the other day. They have all kinds of different liquor there. Everybody's from all over the place. But they only carry San Mig beer. You can't win. I had no aircon anymore. We got to pay the bill, Michael. I mean,
Nah, he just opens the window and uses the fan.
well, he passes out too. You know.
It saves on the electricity bill, huh, Michael?
That's more beer in your belly. But I found I like that. That's why I drank. That's why I bought that case. Why do you say that
David,
again?
What's that?
Asahi?
Asahi?
Asahi. Asahi.
David, when you lived in the Philippines, did you rent? Did you live in a house, an apartment, and what was your electric bill?
Well, we do own property, but no, we rented. And the first house we rented that had a bug infestation, a mold infestation, and a dead person. The electric bill was probably $125, so it wasn't horrible.
125?
Yeah, yeah.
per month,
Yeah,
U.S. dollars.
yes.
Wow.
And so not horrible. And the second place was when the typhoon hit us. So I think our electric bill probably only ran about $75 or $80 a month in that house, but it was a smaller house. But then again, we spent 3 months without any electricity or water. So, and then the little condo we stayed in while we were suffering from Odette, we didn't have to pay the electric on because it was part of the extremely high pay we had to pay for a one bedroom condo the size of my office in America.
Yeah, but you had that $600 bug infested deal.
Yeah, well that was $400. So the first house was 400 a month.
Now, when you
That should
did
be
have electricity and you were living fairly normal, how did you run your air like full time?
Pretty
Did you
much.
just run it at night when you
No,
slept?
no, we ran it. The funny thing is about us is I actually prefer fresh air, and even if it's hot out, unless it's about 85 degrees or better, I like the windows to be open and fresh air. Lorelai
Yeah, I
hates,
do too. I like a breeze. I mean,
yeah, she wants
if
the
there is one.
cooler, so she would run the AC more than I would. So, and maybe she does it because she thinks I need it, but we
a
would run
fan.
it pretty steady. Yeah, yeah.
But like
Yeah,
Tony, you got used to it, right? I mean, it's not
yeah.
like you have a whole bunch of windows upstairs, right? And
No,
upstairs where the heat is.
we have one. Well, downstairs I have concrete, so there's this is all on the outside the bedroom here. It's all open air, so
So it's a first floor block, and then they have that amakan for the second floor. Is that the
no,
way
no,
on
not
the
a mock.
outside?
No, it's
No.
regular wood,
Okay.
plywood. She just built onto this. This is a squatter area. She built onto it. She should have just built one and took that money and built a nice wooden one somewhere. 'Cause she has land next to mine now. So I told I was gonna put in a side gate for them, but I
What's
thought
the name of that place when you did videos up by Lake Mayanit? Didn't it begin with an M? What was the name of that place?
no, it was in Bonga. It
No,
was a
when you were
Bonga.
up by the lake. You
Yeah.
said it was your in-laws' place up by the lake.
Uh
What's
yeah,
the
right.
name of that place?
Oh, I don't even know.
You don't know.
That she's not even the owner. Somebody else is. I don't know whether she's renting that
I
now or
thought it
not.
began with an M. I thought you put that title in, or it was in one of your videos when you were talking.
No, I don't know, man. But it nice
I
and
know the
peaceful.
lake is called Lake Mayanit or Hot Lake,
Yeah.
but I didn't know the name of the
It's nice and
little
quiet.
squatter's place that you stayed at when you were up there.
Old President Duterte must have threw a lot of coin their way because now they had a problem with flooding every fucking year, and now they got rid of all the wooden structures there, and they built the road up higher. Now they only have minor flooding, but if I had that property, if I had that piece of property there, I'd have a solid block, concrete, then
No,
and up a little bit where you got to go up the ramp, park your car. But I mean,
right.
if you raise that a solid block and you got it 4 feet higher than what it is right now, because before the water, they had these poles into the ground, and before when the water flooded like that, the house would move back and forth.
Now, where
They,
you're building your house, what's that? Is that called Habonga?
no, man, it's outside of Lagayan, Butuan here.
Well, yeah, but Butuan's a pretty big place. But it's
What's
on the way out to Benghazi Airport, right? It's going out
yeah,
of town
well,
that direction.
kind of. It depends on who you talk to here, but
Well, I mean,
right.
there's that main road. I know I've walked it. The
Our
main road from Butuan City out to the airport, right?
my wife tells me we got to go back down to the four-way intersection there. If you go straight, you go to SM. If you take a right, you go. That goes to the Masao and the airport. So We're getting a concrete main road in there because a corner across the street on the west side of the road, that's Upper Dahugan, and we're at Lagaya, and where her mother's right where we are right now. This is batting, and I got my three boxes that I had sent. I got them in about 2 months.
You're
They,
good.
the lady shipped them out late. Let's see, me and my son dropped them off in March. They were supposed to ship in April. I think they left in May, and I bought a better boxing tape with the fiber, with the strands in it. You know, that's the best stuff. With all that punishment, those things go over there, huh? You know, I tried talking my oldest son into coming over here and getting married, but I got it. I'm gonna have to treat myself to business class on the way there. I can't do that coach shit.
I'm going to tell you something that's kind of funny. And, we have somebody who's going to be getting married back over there in a couple of years. And they've offered to fly us over for the wedding.
Oh
And
yeah,
right now, my wife doesn't even want to go back for that. She's,
it's working. Well, the reason I don't want to have is because I can't take that coach shit with my back, man.
doesn't mean the flight is so rough.
I
It's
told my mother,
all
well,
journey.
there's no room. I would sit there, and I met a kid that lived in Abonga, of all the places you run into people, and I would. I finally fell asleep after I was up 30 some freaking hours. I slept for like 2 hours. He told me every time I'd move, my back hurt. I'd go. He says, "You all right?" I wouldn't answer him. I'm like, I didn't know what to do, man. I go to the bathroom. It's dim, and so I go to and I take what I think is the handle. It's a freaking ashtray thing. I pull it right out of the wall, and I
I
look.
think the hardest part for me with that travel is not the plane ride. For me, it's getting in and out of the airports, making it from one place to the other at the airport because they're so large.
Look, I told my friend that's coming over, Gilbert. I said, he need, he ain't gonna survive. He's got a lung issue. He's like the third stage of emphysema, out of four.
Need to be flying.
And what
So you don't need to be flying in that condition, then.
the doctor, because he told the doctor. But listen, his heart was racing during this test, and it was racing because he has nicotine freaking fits. If you don't have one, your blood pressure is gonna still be up there for quite a while. You got to eat that gum. I said, well, if you can't make, you're supposed to come next week. And I said, he's going to say, I'll get a second opinion. I said, and I told my sister-in-law, I said, you can wait till at least February because, he has to wait till he's in a certain condition, whatever.
What, he's going to fly to the Philippines?
Yeah. First,
Oh,
he's
my.
gonna first. I told him, I said, "Come here, see how you like it, and then go take care of business at home." He's got his land, I think, signed over to his son already. It's paid for. I said, if you don't sign that over and you end up in a nursing home, the state will take that land.
3 years. You got a 3-year window.
Yeah, well, that happened with my auntie's house.
Yeah.
So the house was only worth 42, the one by the railroad tracks in Ohio there, and it was a nice place. It's just this is how bad it was. There's 4 boys, one bathtub upstairs, and it takes a half hour to fill it because the pipes were so bad.
Well, in his shape, it sounds like he'd be lucky to make one plane trip over there
But yeah,
rather than
well,
thinking of coming back and doing it again.
he keeps flip flopping. I said, Gilbert, what? He said, I said, well, come over, see how you like it first. I can't take that ride. I go, then come here once. He's back and forth on this shit. I'm like, dude, you're chattering like a freaking chatty Cathy doll, man. You got all this shit running through your head. You gotta slow it down, man.
Maybe he needs to just stow away on one of those ships that go back from California
Yeah,
back towards
like
China.
be a worker. But
Maybe
it's
he's
insane.
doing a maybe he's doing a Gary thing.
He can
Yeah.
be, yeah. Well, no,
Putting
no,
it
no,
off, procrastinating.
no. He'd be here now because we used to. He didn't even know. I didn't even know I was retired for 2 years before he retired, and we could have been hanging out all that time. So I didn't know his situation. He don't live that far from the grocery store that we both went to. But I can't freaking hang with that weather, man. I freaking can't. I think when my son gets married at the end of September, I'm still gonna be chilly. You know, I just that seating. There's no freaking way I'm gonna be able to hang. I told my mother, I said, look, I'm only coming back one more time. I said, I'm probably ain't gonna make it back for your funeral. She said, that's okay. I won't know anyway.
Right.
I said, you know, I'm telling you, and I cannot stress it or say it in any other way, but I just cannot freaking handle that. And if it weren't my son getting married, if it were some stepkid, then I wouldn't be there, man. But I do that for him, you know. I just dread this shit. It's over a year away, over a year from now. I just looked at all that paperwork you got to do for your 13A, and I thought, oh, shit. You know, well, I just wait 3 years and go to Guam. You know, start it all over again. Kuala Lumpur. No, I was gonna go to take my Butuan to Manila, Michael, and then over to Guam. I'm not. I don't go that way. Believe me. I'm gonna actually go to a a PAL office here and make my as soon as I get within a year, I'm gonna go make it for business class. I tried to do the first class, but either they have it regularly booked up or it wasn't too early
Well,
for it.
a lot of times they don't have first class. A lot of times airlines are classifying first class as
Well,
business class anymore because for some reason it's expensive to call it first class.
I I sat when our girlfriend's mother died, and we get on the plane, and I'm thinking, hey man, it's a nice plane. I go, look at these seats. We were in first class. I didn't know it. I'm going, man, these things are like pods, you know. And so what it is when you when an airline doesn't have a plane, usually fly first class within the United States, and then business. If you have business ticket, then you're in business. You know, like we went business from Miami to Dominican. So on the way back, it was just straight business.
I've I've never flown anything except coach, or on a military plane.
Well, you know what? Now
Sometimes that was in the jump seat.
I was surprised. I think when I was flying A Airlines here, I was actually in a business class because their coach didn't resemble at all what the coach I was on. What was that airline I like now? I can't even remember, man. They got the chick with the whole with the hat from the 40s. The hat.
I got to
These,
fly on a private jet many years ago, and
why
that was nice. I mean, it held I think 10 people total, 10 seats for people. So those big fancy leather chairs that swivel and little tables, and you know it was
what was
cool.
the cost? What was the what was that? You knew somebody or what?
Oh, I had a company recruiting me, and they wanted me to come out and see their home facility.
Hmm.
So they flew to Arkansas and picked me up in Springdale at the private airport and sent me to their company and fed me lunch and told me all about how great they were and flew me back.
And then you. This was before you became a professor.
Now, as well, I was teaching.
Oh
I had
yeah.
a lot of companies wanting me to come work for them while I was at the
Where
college.
was it? What? But what qualified you for that?
My academic background, my knowledge, my experience.
What kind of spot were they looking for you? In what?
It was to oversee laboratories chemical laboratories.
So they want you to be the organizer, the boss of bosses or something, or
I would have been the VP of operations for their chemical side.
where did they fly to? Where'd you fly to?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh, Dallas. I think I've been there. I don't remember.
Yeah, they took really good care of me. I mean, they tried. They offered a really good salary, but like all the other companies that recruited me, I would have to work, 50, 60, 70 hours.
Hmm.
Where at the college, I got to come and go and do whatever I wanted, when I wanted, how I wanted, and I could do private consulting work on the side. So
Oh,
that's why I stayed teaching so long.
you should have had you should have said, well, if you'd have put a woman on here, then it would be different.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Oh yeah.
in
Some
hindsight, maybe I should have took it. I should have took some of those. It would have doubled my teaching salary right out the door. But then again, my workload would have doubled.
Yeah, that's just it, man.
So
I did what I did to have to get to where I am now in life, but there's a lot to pay for that, man. You are it's trying to do the family thing in addition to that job. Jesus, it if I didn't want to be where I am right now, I knew from when I was 16, I didn't want to be stuck in a poor ass neighborhood like I was. I didn't want to come anywhere near this. So I thought to myself, I worked in a factory that paid. I was making $18 an hour. That job went to Mexico, so I worked at I worked at an adhesive company plant. They made adhesives for auto industry too, and that glue that holds the rubber on your door jams and all that shit, and undercoating. And we had to dump three 3,000 skid pallets a night and build three of them. And these the lightest bag of stuff on there was 50 pounds. It might be 20 bags. It is 50. My right arm was huge. Then you got like 20 pounds of liquid, and you're in a regular barrel. So you got a barrel's round. It's moving when you're doing this. And then you got to take it to a lab, and I ended up two of the lab guys were one was a kid I knew from childhood, and another guy ended up working as a driver at the bus station. But if they would tell me whether I needed to add, whatever, subtract, and one time the stuff was wrong, man. And I was told that when it's wrong, you keep going, you keep working. You get another batch and you keep working. Well, I was done. I worked third shift and I was done, and the platform was all full of powders and shit and the cardboard. And the first shift guy said, "Well, what's this?" Well, he didn't finish his thing, because they had a problem with the consistency of the goo he was making. I said that's what you tell him to do. What is he supposed to do? Pretty simple answer there. But I thought to myself, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. Fuck that. One guy goes, "Oh, it ain't bad." I said, "Man, the nut." And they just had a 401 there. So when I applied for that bus driving job before the factory thing went south. But I didn't really. I wanted to get my 15 grand. I wanted to get my 15 grand severance plus. They took 42% of that, so I ended up getting like 8,000 something.
Hey, Michael, how much did it cost for you to renew that?
Tireman one's cheaper than 13A, I think. I don't even know if he has to. Once it's paid, it's paid. I don't think he did.
Renew the ID.
Yeah, maybe
your ID card.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to get up. No matter how many times you come back there, you have to have an ID photo.
Hey, I just got my new passport in the mail. So I'm good for 10
All
years.
right.
If I live that long.
2 more years for the ID. But
Who's that old guy's picture on there?
Yeah. So, did you guys, did you look at online for ticket prices? Because they're back
No,
up there now. Last time I looked, they're back up to
yeah, I'm
two
sure
grand.
they are.
Well, you got to come next year. You go at the ante or whatever.
It's
You
got
know,
to
and
be
give
in the
her.
summer when the
Listen,
kids
but
out of
listen,
school.
listen. This is why you got to do a week over there because the daughter's gonna freak out when she sees the way they live.
Nah.
It's gonna be different. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, it's different. But
3,000 peso. If when you're sitting there and people don't apologize for that kind of thing here. And you're sitting there and you look and you can see the sky between the wall and the ceiling. And you look around you, everybody's enjoying themselves, and you're thinking, honey, how can that be? But when there's very limited English being spoken, you have a lot of time to observe.
yeah,
Well, my wife
And
and
if
I talked, long and hard about whether we should go back there in 10 years and retire because I'll
who
be
did that?
65. So my wife and I, we discuss it. And I think, because, we have land there that's paid for and all that crap. And we have plenty of money to build a nice little house and all that. But I was telling somebody the other day, my wife doesn't really want to go back. She, now I know we're hoping that her nieces and nephew get to come here, so she has family in the U.S. And if that happens, well, I would probably never go back to live, but because then she'd have family here. But I was telling somebody the other day, I really miss certain things about the Philippines. And they're like, oh, yeah, what's that? And I'm like, well, I miss some of the food a lot. I really, really do. And, I miss some of the people. And I said, so you think once in a while whether we should, go back sooner, later, whatever. But then I remember that I had no water, no electricity. I had to drag water into flush toilets. I couldn't go anywhere by myself. I couldn't get around very well. You know, and we
Yeah,
did food items. We couldn't find this. We couldn't get this done. So sometimes you got to put it in perspective.
when you lived there and you liked the food, was there anything in particular that gave you, say, the runs?
No,
Any particular food you had to avoid?
drinking the water, man.
Drinking anything? Did you drink out of bottles all the time?
yeah.
What
I
about
didn't
using ice?
Yeah, no. What I did was, um, we had bottled water, of course, and then of course we drank a lot of Coke and Gatorade. But you also got to remember we had 3 months where we had no electricity. We lived with no water, no electricity. So we didn't have the greatest time in the world. But I drank a lot of Coke and Gatorade. We drank a lot of the other like what is it? Shit, J2, keep A2. What is the drink over there?
C2.
C2.
That tea?
So
It's like
C2.
iced tea?
Yeah, yeah, and I
I
really like.
remember having that on a plane, one of the Asian airline planes,
Yeah,
and I loved that stuff. It was some kind of iced tea or ginseng tea or
but we
something that
did
was good.
drink. I made ice once in a while with the purified water, but I stayed away from that. But I didn't have any problems with any of the food at any of the restaurants, anywhere. I didn't have. But then again, I didn't drink water at the restaurants. I drank bottled Coke or I drank juice. The Four Seasons or the mango, which I love. All of those pitchers of juice and fruit. Drank those like crazy.
Yeah.
But no, but
I'd
even
have
when
to
I
drink
had
a
a
lot of
hot
what's it called,
holiday,
buko, coconut water,
yeah.
coconut juice. I'd have
Buy,
to drink a
buy,
lot of that.
be like me and test your water. I got a meter here to test water with.
But
Wonder,
even but well, that's hard to test for E. coli though. So unless you have E. coli strips and you can grow it in a lab, but even with the E. coli, I'm sorry, the mixes, the hollow with the shaved ice, I never had a problem.
I
So
wonder what they charge for individual coconut. like just to buy one on the street, to drink it.
Hardly anything, man.
Yeah, 20 pesos.
$1 maybe, 50 pesos or less.
Yeah,
Well,
20.
things have gone up here quite considerably, so
Yeah, they
hard to
have.
say. I love mangoes, but that goddamn seed is so freaking big.
That's why you get more mangoes.
You gotta chew around that like a rat, man.
I love mangoes too.
I don't do mangoes.
Speaking of rat, mango's excellent. Oh my god, we listen. We go to this. There's a new little ice cream shop. Not heavily advertised with signs and all this. It's at Pure Gold, next to Pure Gold, and it's called what's it? Teal, what's that place called? Something Joe's. We get the mango float.
Oh, I hate those.
Joe's scoop.
What are those things called? Rhombula something? Those little red, looks like a sea urchin.
Yeah.
Huh?
Those are good.
80
David,
pesos.
what's the name?
Roubotons, I think. Is that how you say it?
Rambutan or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, not rube, but like.
They look like a sea urchin, but you break it open, it's got.
Yeah, those are good.
I've never had one of them.
Oh, they're really good. You can get them at your Asian stores.
What are they? Are they like a grape or what are they?
Yes, they're like a grape with the. They're really good. Try one. I mean, we get them at our local Asian store once in a while.
Don't eat.
We
street
get
food.
them by the bag full in the Philippines because we had a friend that worked at the port, and he would bring us over those wonderful yellow watermelons and everything. And
Wonderful.
man, God, I love those watermelons. Man,
Yeah, I love water. I like. Oh, it's like freaking ecstasy when you get a sweet one, boy.
well, those
Man.
yellow ones, I don't know what they're called in the Philippines, but they're only about this big, but they're yellow inside. And man,
Cantaloupe.
yeah,
Cantaloupe.
yellow, not a cantaloupe, a watermelon. It's
A
about
water-
yeah, you find it everywhere. I mean,
Yellow.
how many? I ate of them over there.
Well, next time I'm out, I'll look for a yellow watermelon.
Yellow watermelon, they are really good. They are better than the red ones. I should have brought some seeds back with me, but I probably got arrested and thrown in prison for bringing a seed back.
We got to limit it. Michael, are you coherent enough to come on here?
No, we love mangoes. Mangoes are so cheap in the Philippines.
Oh my god! They're messy, man. When you got to peel off the skin, but I mean the reward there is, oof. Man. I get the mango float. The guy's got a cup.
Yeah. See, I can't stand the mango floats. They have way too much
No,
sugar.
listen. You get them like this in a cup. I went to the restaurant Weagle's and they had it in this plastic, tray thing. For one, it isn't a float. That's the wrong name. It just
It is.
anything but a float. But anyway, this thing's cold and it has one layer like cream cheese and like
Sweet and condensed milk is what they're made out of.
what do you call it there?
Too much
Cheesecake. So the ones we get in the cup here, are blended with the crumbs from the graham cracker,
Uh-huh.
and then mangoes. Throughout the whole thing, 80 pesos, man. You can't. That shit.
They're just too sweet for me, man. That sweet and condensed milk just grosses me out. It's just way too sweet.
Tony, you got anybody there that you can ask how much a coconut is? You want to buy one on the side of the street?
Nah.
Sounds pretty quiet. All the karaoke's done, huh?
Yeah, the karaoke's done.
I know we found out the other day. We were at the Asian market and did a live stream, and Balut is selling here for $2.09 an egg, and somebody on the live stream told us that they're selling for 20 cents, 20 pesos in the Philippines.
That should be against the law.
$2.09 each. In the US?
$2.09 for one Balut.
Mm-hmm. Well, shipping and everything.
Well, you can have them.
Yeah.
Oh, here he comes. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, here I
There
am.
he is.
Well, you ain't got no show tonight or what?
Got no what?
You ain't got no live stream tonight?
I usually don't start till 10, but I saw you was on, so I come over here.
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't announce mine. So it's okay. Nobody's
It's a-
expecting me to show up.
Yeah, it's a surprise. It's like Kramer having a whole talk show
Yeah.
set in your house.
We've almost
Got a
had
little-
Philippine weather the last couple days. 92, 94.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Went to Cebu. Was there for a week, and then renewed my thing. That was on the 6th. I already got my card in the mail for my SSRB.
You know what's odd for me? For last year when I came here, I got my ACR card because there's difference ACR and ACRI, and I got that on the second extension. Well, this time I go and I pick it up in the first week of August. It's good December. New one, I gotta get a new one. But after that, they're cheap. It's just that one that's $260 some dollars or whatever.
Yeah, Michael, what does it cost originally for the SRB? Don't you got to put up what, $1,500 or something?
There's
If you're a
different.
veteran?
If your age,
Well, no, it depends on which SSRE you're going for. So
There's more than one.
Yeah.
Huh?
I used the military exemption. So I didn't have to have money in the bank, and it was $1,400
in a bank
for the SSRB and $1,400 to process it. It costs about the same as what a 13A visa is, but
You're
it's only on
talking
you.
Dollars? $1,400.
Kiko,
Yeah, dollars.
we could have got in there for exactly what he's paying. That there's,
Yeah, you know what I
it
got
doesn't have to be military. Well, they either
got
consideration.
what you call I took the military exemption.
Right. And I
So
thought
that
lowered the amount of money that you got to put up, right?
Right.
All right.
So your $1,400 for processing goes into a PRA account. Now, what they do with that money, I don't know, but it's U.S. dollars.
But
Or
it's
lay
but-
out in
Is
there.
it never available to you again? That money?
Well, yes, you can use it towards a condo, a house. Now that they changed the rules a little bit, and they raised the minimum age to 50. It used to be 35.
They did that because of the Chinese. They were getting 30-year-old retirees.
Yeah.
You want me to? I can show you what the website says if you want to look at it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have it up.
Mhm.
Hang on.
But I've heard from some guys that you can start it here in the States. You can do the
Yeah.
police background
Yes, you
check or
can.
whatever you need. Right.
Here's your website, and so you basically
Yeah.
have, if you want to read it,
Yeah, I've seen those before.
Visa
I-
deposit of 20,000 and a PRA accredited banks. That's your Smile program. You have a classic for 50 years and above, 10,000 with a pension, 20,000 without a pension. You have the Human Touch one. So you got a bunch of different classifications.
Human touch. What do you think that's about?
For
Where's
all
the one that, under the military, former military?
no,
No, that's a courtesy. That's
Courtesy.
courtesy.
Kiko, the exact what Michael is saying is exactly the same thing you or I could get.
Right.
So if you're
Yeah.
kind of a sick person, 50 years and above, who need or require medical care, a monthly pension of at least $1,500, and a health insurance policy is accepted in the Philippines, and a SRR visa deposit of 10,000 are required. So if you're kind of sickly, it's a different story. Then you have a courtesy version, and then you have the extended courtesy, which is the armed forces, right here.
Yeah, I got the extended.
Any way to
Expanded.
blow that up? No.
Yeah, I can blow it up for you, sure.
Just see what that expanded courtesy one says.
Let me get back to it. You see it a little bit better?
Yeah, there you go.
Or
But
And what's
they
that
use the
website?
word,
Department of Tourism, Philippines.
Yeah, this
yeah,
is,
it falls under the Department of Tourism.
yeah, this is under the visas for the Republic of the Philippines Department of Tourism.
Yeah.
You got to make a couple phone calls. They changed their
Okay.
they
50 years
changed
and
stuff.
above, I qualify.
Yeah, you only
Retired
need the
forces,
you only need
Qualified.
you only need the 1,500, man, plus the other 15 for whatever.
Monthly pension of at least 1,000.
I hope so.
Visa deposit of 1,500.
Get to rub that in my sister's noses.
Wait. Additional dependent entails additional SRB visa deposit of 15,000 each.
And your daughter and your wife.
that
Or your
means you
wife's
have two dependents. Any additional after the two dependents is entails an additional SSR visa deposit
Okay.
of 15,000 from
Kiko.
each, except for
Unmarried and below 21 years old.
right.
Is your wife dual citizen?
No. Still solely
Which-
Filipino citizen.
Okay, well but then you're fine. If you're like, let's say if you went there, you'd be fine, and then your two children would qualify just fine because your wife's a Filipino. So there you go.
And besides that, Kiko, you get over there with her. You got that first year exempt. You don't have to do any fees.
You know,
Well, it's buying privilege. I mean, they don't have to give it to you, but they usually do anyway.
So you can get that SRV. Could you get it within that year where you're just there on the Balikbayan? You know what I mean?
Sure, why not?
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
you
don't
can
know
change.
how long these things take. Michael would know, but
Well, there's a lot of, for me, the 13A's got a ton of bullshit, man.
But if you got the money, it'll get processed.
Yeah.
If you do the paperwork, it'll get processed.
Hey, any idea
Hang on.
what those guys charge for a fee there? The JRC guy, Michael, you used him,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah, I use them.
what's JRC, Tony?
JRC
I looked at-
consultants, they do all the
It's like a
visas.
fixer.
No, yeah, but in a professional
Picture,
way.
they do all the paperwork.
Yeah, let us know what that is, man, because they won't let on to that no matter what I ask.
So you paid them that fee to do your SRV stuff?
No, they
Yeah.
tell you to
Yeah,
get
I
the
bet.
shit you gotta get. All
I
they
did
do is
it
say,
in-
like,
Was 3,500 pesos for them,
so the
and I had to
the,
pay for them to mail it, which is $250.
the
So
the only one you
my-
really
About 75
the only
bucks.
one that's I paid 1,150 for 2 years on my ID card. So the total amount I paid was 4,900. I just have to look over there and see.
$120, something like that.
Yeah, for 2 years. And when you go for 13A, they want to know how you met and all this. Your wife has to fill out paperwork.
Yeah, the
And
only
it's-
the only thing that
it's just-
seems
I think-
complicated is that letter you have to get from something immigration shit. You know, there's one thing that I would need help with. The rest of that stuff,
Well, your brain guy can write you a letter and say you've been a resident there
Yeah.
for 6 years. Well, I was here for over 9 years.
And if you're one of us here in the States and you want to get this so-called police letter saying you're fine, or is there a particular form in the Philippine government that you have to use to get that police clearance, or you just go to your police and say, hey, run my social,
you
give
get
me
the
something that
clearance.
says I'm clean.
Kiko, you get the clearance before you go from where you live.
That's what I mean, is that it's no particular form, right? You just go to the police,
Get a
say,
letter.
run my number, give
Yeah.
me something that says you're clean and green,
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
acceptable for them, right?
Yeah.
And that's got to be within a certain time closer to your departure from here.
Yeah, it was for
Yeah,
us.
right.
Well,
What's the
see,
time?
this is how I got out of that police clearance thing. It's because I lived in the Philippines for 9 years.
Right.
So if you live here over 6 years, you don't need the police clearance.
Yeah, you lived
You
there
can
long enough
nix
before
that
you even
from-
applied for it.
Right. And then you just got to get a letter from the barangay captain saying that, oh, he's been a resident for 6 years and
Or for
hasn't
me,
been in no trouble that I know of. And that's about it. Yeah.
for me, I'm using the one here because
Yeah.
I mean they could easily, man. I mean they run your name when you got that. You do those extensions to see if you've been in any trouble here, and you're not gonna get a U.S. passport if you got some kind of criminal activity in your.
Yeah,
You
but that's
know,
what we did. We had, for a couple of things, we had to get a police clearance letter, and actually had to get an FBI clearance letter for a thing. And basically, all I did was went to the police department. They wrote it up on stationery and sent it. That's all it was.
I got a question, David. I see all these YouTubers when they go to sign into a hotel, they got to show their passport, right? Now, you know how we can get a passport card, which I got. Would that suffice
it's
for
your
checking
driver's
into
license.
hotels and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Because
the
I got
same.
both. I got the booklet and I got the card this time. You know, I
But
paid extra.
right, but the card is only good in Canada and Mexico. Nowhere
Right, that's for and in the Caribbean, I think. So
Dude,
other than that,
they are about here. They are about money and being official. They want that passport. You know this. That doesn't matter what their goddamn website says. That chain, you know, it depends who you talk to. Some of these folks just go, okay. Oh no, the other folks, no, you got to do this first. You know, I mean,
But, you
we're
know,
supposed to.
we travel a lot, and even in the Philippines, nobody ever asked to see my passport except for when I came through customs. No hotels, no anything, and no.
No.
I've
But
never.
I got to tell you, when I went
Nobody.
back, they wanted to see. They said it's on my ACR card. Oh, do you have a receipt? I said no. At first, I said no. Like, who gives a shit? And the girl goes, "Well, you got to go buy one." I'm like, the reason I got this, I get I didn't print this card. I had to go somewhere official to get it. So, what is with this freaking receipt shit? And a matter of fact, that receipt crap, it's like a ton of fucking pages. You know, it's like it's as thick as William McKinley's speech.
I used to staple it to the back of my passport on the back page, on the back side of it.
Oh,
Just the receipt from immigration. It was stapled. So if I got a new one, I took the old one out, stapled that one in, folded it up, and stapled it right into it.
So what, you know, well, there again, it's logic. I mean, with them, it's like, well, how do you get the card anyway? I didn't get it. You guys gave it to me. So what is with this paper shit? When I went there, you know, last year, I was overweight a little bit, and they said a little fine, you know. So I was used to that shit. So I thought I got that covered, man. Next time, well, I decided to stop off for a few days in Manila. So when you go through, and that's this Kiko, you got to be, it's 44 pounds check bag, and 15 on the other. So I know this. So I go, no matter what way I sliced it, I'm a half a kilo over 20. I said, well, this won't be shit. So I walk in. The guy says, "Oh, sir, you're overweight." I knew I was by half the thing. He said, "No, by 10.5." I said, "What do you mean 10.5?" I said, "That's a couple of packs of underwear and a T-shirt." I said, "Well, if I stay in the airport, they don't bother me. But if I leave, I get penalized. So what's the reason here? Where's the logic?" He don't even know. Nobody can answer it. So they knocked it down from 3,500 to 2,000. And I said, He didn't even know why. I said, this don't make any sense. How is that luggage? How is that suitcase gonna know whether it left the airport or it's in the belly of the plane? He- so what?
They have weight requirements that they have to make. So
Fucking
your
please.
baggage, that's why they weigh your baggage, because they want to know how much weight is on that aircraft.
I understand
Plus,
that.
and
No. But listen, if I get a
but they
if I-
penalize you so heavily to be overweight a little.
see, they do this purposely because if you look on their website, it'll say 70 pounds. That's international. When you get to Manila and you want to go to any other way, any other island, you're no longer international. You're local. So if you got 70 pounds of shit, when you get there, you're gonna pay a buku fine.
Have a backpack. Have a big backpack. Yeah,
if
to
you
put
own-
in the overhead compartment.
If you
No,
well,
no
you get
joke.
a carry, you get a personal item, a carry on, and your personal item.
Hello, Jack.
So what's
Hey,
happening, Jack?
Hello.
You're not in
Much.
shackles, man. This is good.
Yeah.
You know Michael here, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. We'll put him over there, man. We'll put him up here. It's his show now. I can bust out the. You can bust out the
Philippine
pills.
American couple. Philippine American couple. There's only one of you there.
Yeah.
Isa Cabilo.
His his better half is sleeping,
Yeah.
or she go to work.
mine went to work.
That's what I say. It's like morning time there.
Yeah. And just for clarification, Jack, we are the Philippine American couple.
We changed it. Yeah, it's like
We
Sonny
are
and Cher.
meaning the only one. Everybody else are imitators.
You need,
The
you need
bro.
to add another E to the
Yeah,
THEE.
there you go.
The American. The Philippine American couple.
Here's my dog.
So, oh, you were doing a lap thing. You're getting a lap dance. Okay.
I've been picking on my dog.
Oh man.
My dogs are outside. I'm not gonna pick them up.
Okay.
My dog's passed out.
Shit. He couldn't last as long as you today, huh?
I don't know. He sleeps a lot. He's getting old.
So this dog, my mother-in-law was trying to get this. She got a nice little cute dog. Her name was Loca, and so I go over to her, to my brother-in-law's house where they're working on his remodel. And this dog is in heat, but the dog is taller than the male dog, so the male dog he can't get up there. The dog ain't bending down. The dog ain't bending down, so she's chasing. He runs away and she chases him around. So now the little dog is there on such a short leash. That little dog is on such a short leash. She's hoping to strike gold with that muddy white one and the cute little. But that little dog, man, that dog chases her tail like it makes you dizzy watching her. Freaking top, you know.
It's like a horny American in the Philippines.
Yeah, I'm the only one here. Yeah. I'm the oldest freaking one here too.
Okay.
I was talking
All right,
to
guys,
old
it's time for me to get out of here. I got to get some stuff done today. So,
shit, shower, and shave, man.
yeah, get a bunch of things done.
Okay, bye, David.
Take care, guys. See you next
Cheers,
time.
Dave. Thanks
Later.
for coming. Be
Thanks
good.
for sharing the info.
That's an easy one. Well, we got to privatize this situation here, so I can. Because I don't. You missed it last week. Michael and Jack. I was voted #1 live stream on YouTube by all the 6 people that were watching it. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm pretty proud of it.
What's up, ladies?
Here he
Oh,
comes.
what's up, Professor?
Cracker Jack.
Yeah, you know the uniform, son.
Yeah. I didn't want to wear
What's
that
going
white.
on?
I don't know.
No, I had to move the studio tonight because they were karaoke and now it's dead quiet.
All right.
Um,
What's up, Matt? What's up, Michael Kiko?
Yeah.
it's
Just
Nico-
hanging out.
Nico show.
David just left.
Yeah.
So I was coming in. All is well at the Garden of Eden.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie came on here tonight for a little while.
Who?
Jamie.
Oh, Jimmy was
Let
in.
me
Damn, I just
reset my modem.
She was about to go to work.
Happy.
She was about to go into work, and she had to get another. One of those court orders to stay with this dude she was seeing, I guess.
oh, this idiot.
Another
Yeah.
one.
Well, I mean, yeah. I said, you know what? We would have if you'd have stayed here, we could have prevented.
But it would have never happened.
Yeah, it wouldn't have. No way. I mean, you look out for her. Plus, I say, did you go there to visit Ronald? I forgot where she's living in Washington State. She had to get a restraining order for the dude. I don't know, cost her money.
He's way up north, in Canada.
Oh, yeah. She stayed around there. But she got a job now, so
Good.
factory job or something. Good.
Yeah.
So what you been up to there, man?
Nothing, man. Just doing my appointments and shit. Get ready to come back home. I got a lot of shit to do now and November now.
So what's that situation look like for you?
What? For what? Going back?
Yeah, I mean, you had to get some kind of medical thing, right?
Yeah. I got that little sore on my leg. The wound care, checking it out, making sure it heals, because no circulation in the leg making it harder to heal. So they monitoring that. Plus, I got to get me a new grill. Got to see the dentist
So
next month.
how long is this gonna? When are you gonna head back here?
It look like, well, I figure my dental appointment starts in August. And if they're going to make me some partials or whatever, they're going to take a couple of fittings. So it ain't going to be, 1 week deal.
August.
And then after that, that's the only thing holding me in here is the dental. Because my physical therapy doesn't go past September.
You go back there and get plenty of therapy here.
Oh, I know him down Market Street.
That's jumping again, huh?
I can't be messing with them juicy girls.
Did you see Brian out there filling the Philippines?
No, Will and Dice saw Brian out there, and they do stuff to speak to him. He act like he saw a ghost.
Shit.
He like, oh shit, these must
No, he's
maybe subscribers. They black, and he just acted all funky.
Brian's got that dude Francois Williams or whatever his name is. He's got some beef with Brian. I don't know, because Brian charges for a service or a fee. I said, well, who gives a shit? I mean, if you want to pay him for whatever he's got, that's on you. The rest of us.
Or he'd be hanging out at the Tequila Reef.
Oh, Will?
Hillary.
Will hangs out at Tequila Radio.
No, not Will. Billy in the Philippines. He hang out there at breakfast and all that shit every morning with the other white guys that vlog.
Freaking white. Oh yeah, they have a little a white out, huh?
Yeah. So when they see some black people or some of their subscribers, they get funky, you know.
Fucking start running.
Start acting like Calvin, you know. They don't appreciate the subscribers.
Oh, they're afraid you're gonna take the
Cameraman.
I watch the videos, you know. I screen through them. Ain't gonna make no money on the algorithm because I don't watch the whole thing.
I ain't in it. Man, can you imagine? I mean, that dude's young. He's in his 50s, right? Early 50s.
Yeah.
He's has to be. He was 55 when he come here, so he has to be 60, I think.
He's younger than me.
59 or 60.
What the? Hey, I didn't come over
Because
here.
he retired from the state at
No, he had
55.
a
He took
state,
early retirement.
prison guard.
Yeah.
He came back here. He came back to America for some treatment. I forget for what. Then he finds out he could have used it. He could have got it there. Because he's got that card. His card's like that TRICARE. It works like that.
Mm-hmm. But he needed to break. He wanted to get a Philly cheesesteak anyway.
Yeah. Hey, you ain't,
Philly cheesesteak.
you could have wished
Well, he
you were
lives
here.
right outside of Philadelphia there, where the road splits. The road
Hey, maybe-
splits. If you go straight towards Philadelphia, he lived off to the right. It's the first exit. When you hit that
Oh,
cutoff, one goes up north,
you,
the
You
other
run
one
him into-
takes you to Philadelphia.
You
It's the first exit on the right.
did,
that you come to.
did you meet him at a penal facility?
No, I just know because we work Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, and we used to go out that way.
Oh.
We worked going north there. You hit the highway there. If you go in towards Philadelphia, it's the next exit where he says he lived. I forget what it's called. I don't watch his channel all that much anyway.
Tiny town. Yeah, I don't have time for that either myself. I like it like I got it here. You
Where you live, like in Chester, Pennsylvania or something?
know? Huh?
It's not Chester.
Chesterfield? Like Worcester?
I worked at Chester. I know I have.
Were you a prison guard?
No, he worked for this. He didn't work for corrections. He worked plowing snow and
He said
road
he worked
maintenance.
for corrections on his thing on here a while back.
Yeah,
Sure did.
He didn't retire from that. He didn't retire from that. He retired from driving a snow truck, plowing snow in the wintertime and stuff
Fuck that winter shit.
on the interstate.
Yeah, just in I'll take the typhoon in the rain.
Yeah.
Well, let us know.
Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah, oh my God.
You don't want to go across Interstate 80, that's for damn sure in the wintertime.
Fucking poor ass Buffalo. Buffalo's getting like 3 foot of snow every fucking day there, weren't they?
That's crazy.
Jesus. Hell yeah, man. That used to be like in Milwaukee. They come through a front end loader. They'd have that shit 6 foot high. And you're going downhill on the road and here's your car sliding sideways. That's back in the day when they're just rear wheel drive, you know.
Well, they took off all the grip.
And
He's
the best
getting
thing,
the grip.
best thing you do is get off them brakes and let it steer itself.
Well, you know, the people in Norway laughing at that little bit of snow.
Yeah. Oh, good. Hey, yeah, Vikings should be here, maybe.
But I went there after one blizzard, and Philadelphia was still all messed up. You couldn't find a parking place. We had to park in a parking lot.
They give you a fucking. They give you a freaking.
Hardly anything was open. I got to see the Liberty Bell. I wasn't impressed.
No,
I wasn't
it was-
impressed.
It
No
was broken.
way.
It was cracked.
Right.
No, it's not as big as what it. They always blow up the picture to make it look big.
Well, you know
I
what?
guess they did a wide angle lens up close, so it looks really big, but it's not really all that big.
That reminds me of that movie Spinal Tap, where they had what's those Stonehenge? They had the miniature version of Stonehenge. The guys are playing.
Then we were gonna go to the Mint, but the Mint was getting renovated. Couldn't go there. Went to Independence Hall. Got in there though. It was open,
Right.
but that was right after the blizzard. So it didn't matter whether the Mint was open or not. I don't know what coins they made there, but
Well, you know, if while you was there in Philly, you could have went to the center of the city. You know, when you go to City Hall, those Quakers and them damn Masons, they plotted the city to the center of the city. It's right under Ben Franklin. William Penn, that big statue on top of City Hall. That's the center of the city, straight down. You could have went there and checked that out.
I don't know. Like, one of my Yahoo friends was leading us around, and that was a long time ago. Yeah, probably 20 years ago or more. Mm-hmm.
I vote for the more.
I was still working on the river when we went.
River.
Rolling on the river.
Rolling on the river.
Wasn't fun on the river either. All that stuff.
I went to Kuya Dad's birthday party at the old folks home yesterday, right? Just to get some pizza.
Folks home.
Yeah, you know, all the people in there over 70 and plus, you know. So he decided he wanted to do karaoke and pizza for his birthday. So he got all the old girls sitting up there in their bubble chairs and shit. And I just be up there karaoke. I said, I ain't got nothing else better to do. I was still full of Canadian misery.
He's not in a nursing home, is he?
No, it's just an old folks community home. Not a community where you
Yeah, assisted living or independent living or whatever.
independent senior living.
So you had all those white silver-haired ladies out there shaking their ass, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to let me know in the next one.
Independent living in my travel trailer.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's starting to look like Ireland over here today. Yesterday was all right, but today it's just gloomy.
You got them lucky miniature Lucky Charms guys running around.
No, not yet.
The bullshit stone.
They're magic delicious.
You gotta have some marshmallows in that motherfucker.
I used to complain.
Damn.
I said, they don't put enough of them fuckers in the box.
You know what? At my last house back in Michigan, before I came here last time, like 3.5 years ago, I had this mofo live in my house, like rent free. But he was living in my kitchen. I'm renovating the thing, and it's like a demolition zone. He had this box of was it Raisin Bran, the 2 scoops of raisins or whatever.
Yeah.
I ran through that damn box when he was gone because he screwed me over. And I ate all the damn raisins out of every box he got.
That's showing them.
I was That was petty as fuck.
I would have replaced some of those raisins with rat turds.
Hey, we
I could replace them with stink bugs because there's plenty of
used
those
to call
things.
this guy bowling in a league. We used to call him the cat box bowler because he'd be digging his slipping his back feet, like a cat going after it pisses and shits and covers it up. So we got a little box that they put the locker locks in. They put some floor dry in there with raisins, and then when he got up there to bowl, we go start meowing.
Tony,
Yeah,
is your wife there?
yeah.
Can she explain to my wife where you're building your house? You said it's Lagayan or?
She's sleeping, man.
Oh, okay. Is that the right pronunciation? Lagayan?
That's what the wet market called Lagayan.
Okay.
It's across the road. We're at the northwestern verymost point of Butuan. There's upper
Gary
Duugan.
coming out to build a house?
What's that?
When is Gary coming out to build a house?
I don't know. You need to build the ark.
Living in a van down by the river.
Yeah.
I don't think Gary's gonna make it out here.
Yeah.
Get one of them old VW vans that have the camper pop up and a little kitchen in there and a
I
bed.
don't know if we could find one of those things here, but maybe an old Jeepney. An old Jeepney or something like that.
Yeah. And put windows in that.
On the sides.
Yeah.
But he's happy, man.
Well, come on to my humble abode. Come on. We're gonna do YouTube videos. Just, camping with those old motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're. Well, he'll finally go over there. He'll finally go over there and probably croak, and then they got a 6'2" guy laying in your living room.
If I wouldn't know what the hell to do. I'm like, fuck mistake or one of my chairs. And, he rock hard now. He done locked up. I think it's shit.
Maybe he's got one of those virtual girlfriends.
Man. Watch her in VR and pay out of his pocket in VR.
He'd tell the video. He'd tell the video. Sorry, it didn't last that long. Fucking jizz all over the.
Yeah.
It came out straight powder.
Hey,
So Tony, when you move there, are the in-laws moving with you?
no,
No.
it's a 3-bedroom.
Just you and your wife and the son, right?
Yeah,
You know that ain't gonna last.
people here they just come over.
And the extra room for all their visitors, transients, right?
No. That room.
Friends from the U.S.
That's my media room.
Yeah.
That's where all my cameras, my TV. That's where the magic's gonna have my new studio. So,
Other than that,
As Tony turns the camera around, there's like 7 people in one room.
yeah, got 360. I won't be able to see outside because it's gonna be a dirty kitchen that way. So,
how far is the construction going?
they're still on the fence, but with the new guy, we got new carpenter. It's moving along a lot faster.
Our
Her
sis got a house.
uncle wants to put in those pilings, so right now
It's the new slow guy.
the inspector hasn't been there yet. So, I mean, for the house, because
You know it's
he came out.
Filipino time.
He came out and he goes, "Oh, you got the wall up already, huh? We weren't even supposed to do that." I said it's real easy when you want what you want, but somebody else has got to pay double for it. He could tell him to tear that shit down. You should see some of the man. Fucking dude got like 4 inches of mortar, 4 inches of mortar between each block on one
Roads.
wall.
Oh yeah, they're famous for that.
And
They're
I
famous
told
for
her, I was telling my mother-in-law that I went over there before they started. He went to the worst possible place because the water kept running in. The pump wouldn't take care of it. He could have went to another wall and did something else, you know. But I said, I was showing her, I said, look, if you don't have that first row just right, nothing else it'll all look bad.
Shit, a fucking cinder block or hollow block is only like
Hey.
what, 11, 12 pesos? And you gotta
15.
space them apart to save money, but you're not saving money because you're spending all that money to fill in that 4-inch freaking
Yeah,
gap.
they put the rebar in there. They put the rebar. They believe in heavily in rebar.
Normally, you put the rebar down, then fill in the gaps inside, but not like spread the blocks
Yeah,
apart.
they don't finish it. They don't finish it. But he does. This new guy I got, he finishes.
But they don't lay them a certain width apart. You know, the layers. They just whatever they do on there, and they have it down. Kind of go by the line.
Every other roll, usually. Every other roll, you stagger the line. You know, short and long, short and long.
Hey, I'll see you guys. I'm getting off. Take care.
Okay, Poppy.
Keep going.
Thanks for coming.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Go lift some weights.
Go lose some weight.
No, lift some weights. Lift some weights.
Oh, well.
Going to the gym.
Is that why we always get headshots all the time?
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut this freaking YouTube one off. Ain't nothing exciting gonna happen here.
Oh shit! I got the fucking whole damn.
Maybe I'll end this regular. Maybe I'll end this live stream. How long?
I think my stream
2 hours.
cycled today.
Hey. Everybody say goodbye to the 3 people in the background, man.
Okay, goodbye, 3 people.
This concludes today's broadcasting session.
In the background, 3 apples high.
You know, that show he had, that radio station they got don't compare to here, man. Anyway, Tudlewski. Yeah.